Harry Kane's brother's wedding. And inside pages 4 and 5, exclusive best Man City. That's what newspapers do. Tabloid headline: Kane reveals mega deal as he helps agent brother tie the knot. So apparently, Danny, Harry Kane has told of his joy at his pending £160 million Manchester City move whilst he was being best man at his brother's wedding. 160 million?
Can't see that. Can't see it, but Tottenham have denied it anyway, haven't they? So it makes a mockery of that story. We talked a lot about Harry Kane on Monday, and I think a lot of him getting that. Well, if City are prepared to wait 160, then he'll go. But if there's a deal to be done, I think Harry Kane's got a pivotal role in making that happen. If it's for a lesser amount, he's gonna probably have to have a conversation with Daniel and try and force it over the line, because I don't know. Simon knows the finances more than me. I mean, Pep. I think you were talking about Monday, Pep coming out and saying they're not going to spend £100 million on players anymore.
Well, Danny's right about
where
that.
Where are they going to then go and spend on? Why are they then going to go the complete opposite of what Pep's saying and spend 160 on one player?
Tottenham this morning maintain they have no intention of selling Harry Kane this summer. PA News is carrying that at the moment. The England captain is keen to leave in order to win trophies. City are interested, with reports emerging that a £160 million move is close. But the club insists they have no plans to sell the striker. If you're Daniel Levy, Simon, do you bite their hand off for 160 million?
You know, this is another example of your beloved mainstream media, you know, doubling down with integrity of reporting and being carried on a variety of different platforms, not just The Sun. It's on Sky as well. But this is sort of a Winston Churchill Lady Astor moment, isn't it? Where, you know, we've established what you are, madam. Now all we're doing is negotiating the price. If we've established the principle that Harry Kane is for sale and people are starting to put the price out into the public domain, they're picking figures from a particular place, right? Now, if you're Daniel Levy and Manchester City are offering you 160 million quid for Harry Kane, you're sending him round in a cab, right? Because this is a deal that you would be doing in any climate, at any time, irrespective of the player. Because with the greatest will in the world, if you can get 160 million pounds for a 28-year-old Harry Kane, and you can use that 160 million pounds to supplement and rebuild a Tottenham side, you're going to do that every day of the week and twice on Sunday. The reality of this deal is that no point has there been any indication from Man City that they're going to spend this kind of money. The exact opposite has been said. Now, you can read the lips of football managers and only work out when they're telling the truth is when they're not speaking. But in this instance, I think you'll probably be more inclined to believe Pep Guardiola when he says, we're not going to do these kind of things. The argument that they can't afford it is absurd, right? So it does become a little bit of a contradiction in terms, because they can afford to do whatever the hell they please.
Yeah. Well, Simon, can I just ask, even if they can afford it, I mean, this seems crazy headline to me, because surely you would play the game of starting lower and then ended up on a deal somewhere. If the initial price was set at 150, which we were led to believe, why would you then jump to 160 when you've only got to pay 150 and you could start at 110, 100 and somewhere?
Obviously, it came from the reliable source of someone that's invested in the transaction happening at a wedding. So of course you've got to take these things with absolute integrity, and that's well worthy of a double page spread on the front page of a national newspaper, the doubling down of the accurate information, which Jim isn't seeking to defend this morning. But in this instance, you look at it and say, look, there doesn't seem to be a lot of sense behind this kind of transaction, but there's not a lot of sense behind any football transaction. And I just think that there's a lot of space to fill with not a lot of content at this moment in time, and people are filling a vacuum.
What do you mean not a lot of content at this moment in time?
Well, there's not a lot of content.
Where'd you get that idea?
Well, there's not a lot of content going on.
It's all happening out there.
Well,
of course it is. It's just a question of being across it.
No, it's speculating and projecting, and then sometimes you get it right. If you throw enough against the wall, some of it won't slide down. So eventually you're going to have to be right. A broken clock is right twice a day.
Well, I mean, this was the tabloid. You used to have a column in it, didn't you?
Yes, I stopped writing for it because I didn't like the fact they didn't like me using words of more than one syllable.
Okay. One story that we do know for real, is factually correct, Danny. Harry's teammate at Tottenham, Heung-min has signed a new deal at Tottenham until 2025, and Son is saying on this new deal it's like home, especially with the fans, the players, the staff. There was no decision, it was easy. I'm so happy to be here and we'll be so glad to see the fans again soon. So unlike what Simon says, there's a lot happening out there, and this is part of it. Spurs Andro, right away, morning Jim, it's not all bad news. Son signing a 4-year deal with Tottenham. Great news, says he. But that is good news for Tottenham, isn't it?
Super news, yeah. I mean, he's a wonderful player. Been very, very consistent. Seems very happy in his football. I don't think there was never a chance of Son leaving in my
According
eyes.
to the papers, it was. If Harry Kane's going, Son's going next.
What paper did you read that in?
That was all the speculation going around in the
There
newspapers.
was a lot going around, but
Was there?
obviously...
Yes, it was the Sun
But
at
you shouldn't-
17
but
minutes
don't
past 4
believe-
at 13 on the
I've
30th of
told you,
March.
don't believe everything you read, Simon. So
I don't believe anything.
Daniel's never going to let both go, was he?
No, but the fact is that he's committed his future irrespective of what Harry Kane does or doesn't do, tells you that Tottenham isn't in disarray, tells you that there isn't going to be a dismantling of Tottenham Hotspur because Harry Kane's leaving, if he does leave. And I think it's great news for Tottenham. And it also shows you that players of Son's ilk that are sought after commodities must be buying into the vision of what Tottenham Hotspur may just be about to do.
Well,
It
it also shows you that individually players are very different. When somebody's content and enjoying life and enjoying the football, not everybody is after craving the same things. I'm sure. Sure he's getting a great financial deal, but in terms of, the chances are he's not going to win very much in the next couple of years at Tottenham. I mean, that's the honest fact. So he's not that bothered about winning things.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, he's 29, Danny. It's a long deal for a 29-year-old, isn't it?
What are they giving him?
It's until 4 years. 4 years.
4 years.
Super athlete, super professional.
Yeah.
Looks after himself.
It's another example, though, Simon, of what we said. Is the best business this summer going to be determined by players that clubs manage to keep? This is good business by Tottenham today.
But it's ironic, isn't it? Because it's how we adapt things to the times.
Yeah.
Because every single year, you have to buy new players. You have to supplement your squad. You have to keep on changing players around. And I've always been of the mindset, what happened to coaching players to the level that you want them to be at? What happened to be able to buy a player? He hasn't quite reached the standards you want him to reach, so you coach him some more until he does. We live in a society where people turn around and say to you, if you don't come around to my point of view, you need to be educated, and if you still don't come around to it, be educated some more. Why can't coaches work with players and keep on coaching them until they reach the standards that people bought them for?
But it's because of the turnover of managers. I mean, you sacked 10 in 10 years.
I did 9 actually.
9.
But again, a bit of accuracy there.
Yeah.
But the point is that you buy players. And players often aren't by the same manager. A manager comes in, buys a player, and that same manager's still in situ the following year, and he wants to have a butter mountain of players and keep changing them. In this climate, what we're saying now is the best business, the retention of players, which is the exact opposite of what we say every single year, which is the best business, is the buying of players.
Well, retention of players is great if you're improving them and you've got a
Exactly.
coach. If you've got a coach who's good enough.
And
the best example
and if patience existed in the game, Danny.
Yeah, but look at Tottenham's success under Pochettino with basically the same squad over a period of 3 years.
Yeah,
because he worked on them constantly and the shape and the tactical. But every player under Poch, more or less, improved in that Tottenham side, if you recall.
Yeah.
They grew so quickly and so fast under his coaching. So I agree with Simon there in terms of not enough coaches these days are happy to go. Roy Hodgson was a good example of Palace.
Yeah.
I know he wasn't.
But he also fits Jim's argument as well, which is that he knew he was going to have the stability of not finding himself in an invidious position at the end of each season because Palace weren't in 10th rather than 12th. So there was that little bit of a relaxed perspective that he can afford to take his time.
Yeah, but it's a chicken and egg that, because the relaxed perspective comes from his success, doesn't it? So he knows it. He builds up that respect.
Yeah, so Jim's wrong then, across the board.
I was right 15 seconds ago.
I know, but I turn.
Is this what it's going to be like when I go on holiday with you next week?
Yeah, absolutely.
Danny,
are you going together?
Yeah, we are. Can I possibly change and come with you now, Danny? Is that I'm not too late to throw that one in, am I?
I'd have to check.
I don't want to end up my one, mate.
I'd have to check with the missus.
All right, okay. I'm all packed, Simon. I'm all ready. Incidentally, as we hit the break, full Wembley Stadium, Simon, August the 7th, City against Leicester, the Community Shield. Wembley will be full. Mm-hmm. Full. We know what happened the last time Wembley was almost full. But that is good news for City fans, for Leicester fans. Community Shield.
For society.
It's back
and for society.
Was that your phone?
Mine.
No.
Oh, no problem, Dan.
First time
I'm a professional.
Right. Disciplined boys in the studio. Coming up to 10:15. Jim, Simon and Danny, we're all out of here at 1 o'clock. The question is, who am I out of there with?
Jim White and Simon Jordan. Monday to Thursday morning, 10 till 1. On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.